Should I go change shirt? Okay.
Yeah, I mean you're good. Anyways, hey guys, welcome back. This is fourth episode. So where were you guys? I know we were talking about incomplete games, and
Well, we're gonna talk about incomplete movies now.
incomplete movies. Wait, that's not way too many movies right there, bro.
Talk about Silent Hill Boys, the movies. Okay, go there.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Incomplete movies. Okay, let's talk about Justice League.
Apocalypse.
Justice League.
Snyder, the Snyder trash.
I mean, well, how was the cut? I haven't seen it.
No one has.
Oh, it's not. I thought no.
No, you know what's crazy though? Well, I've been reading upon and watching videos. Apparently, there's actually 2.5 hours worth of scenes that were cut from the original movie.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Like there is scenes that has actually Darkseid in full CGI, battling with the Justice League and
with his
all
dress.
that stuff.
With his dress.
Yeah, with his dress.
But now, let's address the elephant in the room, because Anders and I had a short conversation about this now. Like, he told me that his shorts actually look like basketball shorts, and now I can't unsee it.
Well, it's a very blurry image, so you really can't tell what it is. It looks like shorts from that image, but I doubt it, to be honest. That's better than a skirt. Darkseid. That's better than a skirt, fam.
What?
I mean, the
is
shorts,
it though?
because you can tell because there's like a triangle and then the squares and then but it like leads off and it's not tight either.
But the thing is, if you have a skirt on, right, like Darkseid, that's like his best piece of technology, because that means he gets air to the balls. Right? It's like just air it out that way. It doesn't smell terrible and shit.
Darkseid is S-I.
You spell it Darkseid.
Darkseid, yeah, Saeed.
But I feel
S-I-E-D.
Something I was telling Josh, that his design, I feel like what we've seen kind of suffers from the Apocalypse design.
Apocalypse is bad.
Yeah, exactly. And
the
way that they made him like skinny, like he's bare bodied. Like he only has like that ring around his clavicle and neck.
We don't even know how it's gonna look like. This could have been like early,
See, like,
but this was something that he intended how Darkseid wanted to be went from his cut. So he might even keep that one.
See, I think the problem when it comes to DC Comics in general is that they reboot it so often, and they bring in so many different artists, and they change the look so often that, we don't get the chance to, pick our favorite and like just follow it through for a while, because Darkseid, the one I like is the one from Justice League. It has the skirt, right? It has the knee high boots, right? And it's always standing with his hands in the back, right? He doesn't need any staff or anything, right? And he has a neck. This one is like this.
Yeah.
Well, he is lean forward,
and he's like super skinny. Like he looks like
he's lean.
Strong.
Well, that's Steppenwolf.
That's Steppenwolf, yeah. That's Steppenwolf.
Well, apparently, also Steppenwolf, Snyder's version of Steppenwolf is not going to look. It was completely different. So he actually might look different in this movie, in his cut, because he looked completely different in that scene that I saw.
Yeah, and it's weird because Steppenwolf, correct me if I'm wrong, is actually Darkseid's uncle.
Bitch.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Right.
It's Darkseid's uncle. And then Darkseid's mom, because that's the whole thing about what Zack Snyder wanted to explore. That battle that you see at the beginning of Justice League is essentially the battle that they wage against the original heroes, and when Darkseid's mom gets trapped in the mother box. And that's why they're called mother boxes. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the thing, originally Steppenwolf, I think Steppenwolf was supposed to be more powerful than Darkseid, right? Because he was like the original ruler of Apocalypse. He was the original ruler of Apocalypse, that he got sealed into that little dimension prison by Superman. And then Apocalypse took over. He flew into the source wall. Right. That's what he did. He flew into the source wall, got stuck like an idiot, and then Apocalypse took over. And then when he got freed, he flew back into the source wall like an idiot. He got stuck again.
Yeah, but I think now in the comics, Darkseid is like even more powerful than him. And it's
right. That's true. They did retcon it, right?
Right, and then his
true Darkseid
of true Darkseid.
Right.
That's the body that you see, like the physical manifestation of him. It's not even him. Like he's projecting it from like a void that he only exists in, and so that's not even his most powerful state.
Yeah, it's his dimension. Yeah, it's his dimension. Yeah,
he's basically a god in his dimension.
Yeah, he's a god. Yeah, that's true.
So when I see this image, the one that Ray has pulled up, right? Number one, the neck bothers me for sure. Like it seems like he's way too buff, and his arms are too skinny. Like Anders was saying, right? Like look at his legs, dude. Look, his legs are
skinny legs.
Yeah, man.
Oh, he has Brock Lesnar.
I mean, even if you see the like Injustice version of him, he's stockier. He's so he's like he commands his presence. He's like. It looks like a lanky, like dude, like just about to like hit you up with some stuff. Like he doesn't. When Darkseid comes, he commands presence. He commands like your attention. He's the dude that's like in the center, and he doesn't need to say a lot. All he needs to say is like, "I'm here to kick your ass," and that is it. That's all he needs to say. He's like, "I'm Darkseid. I'm here to take over your world." And action, and let all the action go.
And the guy is so arrogant. Like he constantly has his arms folded back because he doesn't need to hit you.
Right.
The Omega beams do all the work. Like when I see that hand there, I'm like, okay, unless that staff is All Father's, staff, which is essentially what you get from the source wall. Right. That doesn't make any sense. Okay.
Right, he doesn't carry weapons like that.
I'm about to say why he has a staff. Does he have like his hands on the back like that?
That's not bothering me too.
And then we don't really know what's it there for. We might not even be using it for combat. Who knows? It could be to summon something. We don't know, to be honest.
And when you think go ahead.
No, go for it.
Yeah, when you think about Josh Brolin, right, who played Thanos, right? This guy, Josh Brolin, is skinny, right? But then, like, they beefed him up using the CG, and very good CG at that. Like, and I don't know why DC Comics doesn't do this. I was like, you can keep the facial expressions of whatever actor you're picking, but make the body proportional to what people want to see, right? This is the big bad guy.
They want to be different,
right? But yeah,
it's
that's
so weird because you have so many examples to go from, like so many renditions of him, and every rendition of him. He's big. He's stocky. His skin looks like rock-like. Like
One thing that
and you don't go with that version.
One thing that they can't mess up is the look of how he looks, his face. If they get that, at least they get some points.
Right, because that's the thing, right? Because like you guys were saying earlier about Apocalypse, like if they did like a special, and the guy who created the costume for Apocalypse in X-Men Apocalypse. He originally had the original Apocalypse mask. It looked pretty sick. He was like, this is what they were going to go with. But they wanted to redesign it for a new audience, and they ended up with that mess. And so it's like, I think this is like I think Andrea said it. But it's like, this is another unnecessary redesign for whatever reason. Like they just did it for the sake of doing it.
Yeah, and I get it, like, how me and Josh and, Max look at it, like, we're artists and we have experience drawing and creating our own designs and stuff like that. And, you're allowed to have like a recreation of a rendition of something. You're allowed to have creative freedom. But like when you're trying to talk to an audience that you're trying to go watch a movie, like the reason why people go back and still watch Endgame and, that run of Avengers is because Thanos commands you to want to watch that again because he's a compelling, villain. Antagonist and villain for the, the movie. And you want that with Doom. You want that with Darkseid. You want him to make you want to rewatch that movie. That's how you get, seats back in that theater of rewatchability. You want a villain that commands the screen. And that villain, that that design doesn't really command it. It doesn't attract me to really want to anticipate to go see it.
Yeah, it's actually doing the opposite, right? Like because
Exactly.
we're talking about how like it looks weird, and this shouldn't be the discussion we're having. With Snyder, we should be like, man, it looks amazing. Look at this. Yeah, so like it's disheartening, but then again, it's raw, right? Hopefully it changes because they definitely the fans did say that Steppenwolf looked terrible. Okay,
Right.
so hopefully that echoes and that
Well, they can always change Darkseid in CGI because he's a CGI character anyway, so they can always change the look.
But what about if they don't change it? What about if they don't listen to us? Like
they're still gonna get the money because it's gonna be HBO Max.
Right. I mean,
everyone's gonna want to see it.
The thing is, I feel like they're not gonna change a lot of it, just because that and because Snyder has his vision, and he's gonna stick to his vision, and that is his vision of how Darkseid looks. Look at what happened with Wonder Woman with Ares. Like everybody was like, "Oh, we're gonna see Ares and a really awesome rendition of him," and then you see Ares and he has that mustache, and you're like, "What the hell is going on?"
And, I mean, if you want to look at bad DC design, just look at Cyborg.
Right.
Yeah. Cyborg looks terrible. Like Cyborg looks straight out of Michael Bay's universe, man.
Yo, he dead ass look like a Transformer.
Yeah. And the thing is that like the news this week was that there's not going to be reshoots with any actors, right? Any of the main ones. So like you're not going to get Batfleck
Actually
again.
There is.
No, they're doing voiceovers.
They're doing voiceovers,
but they're actually coming back. Ben Affleck came out and he was excited. He came out in Kevin Smith's podcast as well as recorded message.
To add to that, Henry Cavill is actually back on board.
On being Superman.
Yeah,
Henry Cavill's
he's on board
right now.
I mean, well, Henry Cavill, he said that from the beginning that he will always play Superman as long as Warner Brothers needs him to be. But the whole commotion with where like DC firing this, changing this, doing that, he was kind of on the edge of it, blah blah blah. That's why he went to do The Witcher. But then now, ever since the whole Snyder commotion, Snyder coming back to fix the movie, he's been like, okay, cool, I can come back and do some of this and do some voiceovers, and he signs a deal to show up in multiple DC movies too. So
yeah, so, I mean, I know that Cavill. He honestly, like, he looks like a Superman in the sense of like, I love how he looks as Superman. I think he has what it takes. It's just that, god damn it, man, DC doesn't use him right,
Yeah, they
DC
actually
writers are trash. DC
how Henry Cavill's been he's been campaigning for Man of Steel sequel, and DC's like, nah, we're gonna make Supergirl.
Yeah, and I'm like, hell, have you seen Supergirl? Dude, that CG is awful. Like, it's terrible. Like,
I mean, it's TV.
Yeah, I don't know how people.
I mean, a TV show, right?
I mean, dude,
for TV, I mean,
Flash has pretty good CG, and it's also
Season
a TV.
1 and 2.
Flash has its moment.
Season 1 and 2 have the best CGI, and then after that, their budget dropped, and it just became real terrible.
But what about the Green Arrow then? Like, the show.
They didn't need CGI.
That was CGI.
But now let's go around the actual squares, I guess. We look like the freaking Brady Bunch. Name one thing you want to see in the Snyder Cut, like the one thing that you're gonna be like, or something that you want them to delete from the original movie. Let's start
Batman.
with go ahead.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead, Josh.
I
go ahead.
Just leave Batman laughing and cracking jokes. Thanks very much.
Okay, can I
leave jokes?
Yeah, they need to delete Jesse Eisenberg. Like Luthor, get him out of here.
Oh my god, yeah.
Andres?
I want them to add new gods. I want them to add the characters that we got to know Darkseid in. His brother, who's like a complete contrast of what Darkseid is. He's like a hero and a rocket pack and shooting lasers and stuff like that. I want that scene where we see him holding that staff. I want the other side be his dad, the new gods, and like those characters, it'd be amazing. Like you would have like an introduction now to all these new characters, and you now are establishing a fucking universe that DC needs.
Yeah, you're right. Because that way you can get like Orion, Mr. Miracle, Big Barda. Yeah, that'd be dope. I agree. That's a good one.
A lot of people don't know that Darkseid has a son.
Well,
Caliber.
Yeah. But to be honest, what I want to see about the movies is the Darkseid power. If I want to show it, fear, like he's the conqueror of words, like he's Omega being, just like in those little cartoon shows that we watch of Justice League. I want to see that power, like he could just could destroy Wonder Woman, fight Superman 1v1, no game destroy. I want to see like overpowered villain that's supposed to have.
Yeah, it would have been cool to see like those lasers, like you know how you control the lasers. It'd be cool. To see that.
Omega beam.
Yeah.
Now, if they only do those Omega beams once during the entire movie, I'll be pissed.
Yo, bad.
I'm pretty sure it is, and you're only gonna see him do it against Superman, and that's it.
Oh my god. Okay, Ray. What do you want to see in the Snyder cut?
I want to see a movie that doesn't make me fall asleep. I remember like it's like what 2 hours and something. The first one,
I think.
And you know we went to see it, right, Kenneth, with Josh, and I fall asleep. I usually fall asleep in every movie, but that one, my god, it took forever. The middle just took forever to develop.
5 minutes, right? The other movies you fall asleep in 30, but this one was 5.
The other was like right away, like.
It wouldn't be so bad if you went to
I also want to cut to this define who is the main villain, and I want some urgency out of the beginning. You know what I mean? Because you know it just gets to the end, and we just see them confronting the main villain, and okay, like is this it or who is it? Because you know they go back and forth to do an entrance of is it Jesse Eisenberg? Is it the main dude at the end? And if it is, make it make sense. Like we want to know, we want to see us from the beginning all the way to the end, because you just see it pumping out, and they just battle him, and then the end.
You actually get a good point. Yeah, like despite the fact that there was like a world-ending threat, Batman was taking his sweet ass time collecting all these heroes. Like he's like, oh, let me go in this bar walking on foot. Like, bro, you roll up in there with the Batmobile, jump out, it's jump out. He's like, yo, world's about to end. Let's go Aquaman next.
The one thing about this movie, apparently, that there's a lot of backstory that was cut that was important to the plot that's going to be added again. So we'll see.
It is just a continuation of the story for Apocalypse War. If it's
no.
This was the ending of this.
Yeah, so if you watch Apocalypse War, Justice League Dark Apocalypse War, that was supposed to be the original vision Snyder had for the Justice League trilogy.
And then what happened?
And then DC said, "Nah, we don't like that because BVS flopped, so change everything."
Right. Yeah. What I would like to see is I would like to see Batman actually, since honestly, like you said, like you can't really fight. He's only with your car. As soon as your car is done, you're done, right? I would like to see Batman operating OMAC. You know that the satellite he has and the little drone bots, because that would essentially create like parademon fodder, like people for the parademons to fight, and it would open it up for the next Batman movie to be about the OMAC project, where the satellite and the drones go rogue, right? And he actually and essentially start killing all the Justice League. That would be pretty cool, because I feel like the battles are too big for Batman.
Oh, definitely.
Though that's a really great idea, but the only thing there's a problem with that is that there's no setup.
Yeah,
DC doesn't set up their universe, so it's just like everything just pops up out of nowhere. Like, who the hell is that? Why is that happening?
Yeah, just like here it is. You were asking for it.
You go to Marvel side. The minute you walked into Avengers 3, you knew every character that was on screen besides Thanos' people.
Right.
True. Yeah, it was really. And I think that's one successful part about that franchise, right? Like you immediately like, oh, Doctor Strange. I know exactly how he behaves. I know how he's going to interact. Like I can't wait to see how he, talks to Bruce Banner for the first time. It's crazy.
Yeah. It's the same thing with Guardians, right? Before the movie came out, no one gave a fuck about Guardians.
Yeah.
Right. And that was the thing. Like they gave them their own movie to establish them in, and then put them in a crossover, not just
crossover Avengers.
Yeah, they always DC's out here making Batman vs Superman instead of Man of Steel 2, Suicide Squad instead of Batman, Harley Quinn instead of the Flash. Like, what are they doing?
Okay, Suicide Squad, it was good, but I didn't like the Joker at all.
It was alright.
Sorry, nah.
But see, the thing is with Marvel movies, if you paid attention to like once we jumped on the Avengers, every character had its moment, whether it was in their movie or in another movie before we got into the Thanos arc. Right. And with Justice League, you didn't even get freaking Cyborg's movie.
Yeah, all you got was Superman and Wonder Woman.
Yeah, right. And then Aquaman came after, and so you're like, all the people are guessing like, how are these characters supposed to act, or who are they, or you're also attracting the casual audience.
It was the same thing with Cyborg, right? When Cyborg was in a movie, you were like, why are you here?
Right.
You should have had a movie before this and then throw him in this movie.
Right.
They try to give. It's funny how in a tag team movie, one of the main heroes, they try to do an origin story in that movie.
Right. Exactly.
Because I feel like they did it right with Wonder Woman, and proof of that is the fact that they Warner Brothers does not want to release Wonder Woman 80. What was it, 80 or 89? 1984, yeah. Like, they don't want to release it straight to video. They're holding on to that one, right? And
I totally have forgot about that movie.
No, it's good. It's relevant.
I think it's gonna be good.
I just had forgot about it. I don't know.
Yeah. I think it's gonna be good. We'll see.
Yeah,
it's like Jurassic Park, right? Jurassic World Dominion. Who remembers that one?
I remember
the third one that came out was horrible.
Well, anyways, talk about it. Who's happy to see The Mandalorian season 2?
Me. Season 1 was awesome. I can't wait for both of that.
I can't wait to see what they do with the next Star Wars movies.
I don't even want to. I don't even
care. Right now that Kathleen Kennedy's getting the boot. And
Skywalker is done.
Coming in.
Oh yeah.
What they need to do, they need to reboot the last 3 episodes and just retcon them.
Well, did you hear that? Last 3 episodes of what? Filoni and Jon Favreau want to retcon Rey's story.
Oh please.
Yeah.
The thing is, what story?
Exactly.
What story? What story did Rey have in those 3 movies? I was more interested in the Stormtrooper. I forgot his name, but.
Finn.
Finn had a way.
That was definitely Kylo Ren's story. I don't care. He
had the most progression, but he still didn't develop as a character. He like flip a switch in the last movie. Like, okay, I'm good now.
Yeah, that was the only problem.
To be honest,
and you know what? Before you say something, where in what was it? Episode 7 and 8. Where did they show that Ren and Kylo, Rey and Kylo were love interest?
I was about to say, you're talking about the same person.
Dude, there was a lot more romance between Poe and Finn than Rey and.
Where they look at each other, be like, I want to bang.
Yeah,
like there was no indication. It's just like that.
Well, they tried to like sneak it in a little bit, like when they were linked up. They were like, oh, it's because they have a special bond. Or when they were fighting in the
I thought they were linked by the
room, but he was like, roll alongside me. They kind of like hints at it, but it wasn't really like full throttle until the last episode.
That felt more like a partnership bond, like not more like a relationship bond.
Yeah, I thought they were saying, oh, they're like brother and sister. That's what I thought. Because of that, how the relationship went.
You saw that, and then you saw that.
And then Palpatine, like the way they killed that character. Oh my god!
But you like lightning tree?
The problem with those movies is that you can ask just about any fan, right, to make a story about that follows the original trilogy, right, and they will make a better job than what Disney did. That sucks. Because when you see Infinity Game and Endgame, right? Everyone, especially with Endgame, everybody had their own theories, right? And after that, Endgame was a great film in the sense of like, the story was okay, like it was good. I like the actual story writers did a good job in presenting the final installment. Sure, there were loopholes here and there, but for the most part, it was acceptable. Star Wars is unacceptable. The last three.
You know what's the difference between Star Wars and Marvel? Is that Disney, they let Kevin Feige do whatever the hell he wants, and they didn't let the writers or directors for Star Wars do what they wanted. And there wasn't one coherent person who had control over it. It was multiple people who had different ideas.
Well, not necessarily.
Not only that, but they tried to like make a new story, but grab all the old fans too. So that's why they keep talking about like, oh, look at this Anakin, Luke, Leia, look at all these old characters. Don't you like them, Han Solo guys? Han Solo right in your face. Like, and it's like, okay, just make a new story. We're gonna make a new story. Make a new story. Like that's why you saw like Emperor Palpatine out of nowhere in the last episode. Not even hit to that even once.
It's so sad that Rogue One is better than all three of those movies.
They should have just gone like Knights of the Knights of the Old Republic when you have like lightsabers that are connected to a freaking backpack.
It's crazy how what is that? That spin-off movie, Star Wars.
Rogue One.
Rogue One. Rogue One. That was better than all three of those episodic movies.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
Definitely.
Yeah,
because I've never seen a movie where all of the main characters die. Never until that, and I was just like, that's pretty dope.
Not only that, but they actually treated the Force like the religion it is.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Which is a thing they rarely touch on in Star Wars these days.
Yeah, and it's what George Lucas originally intended it to be.
Right.
Yo, the what is it? Episode 9 was so bad they didn't want George Lucas to go watch it at the premiere.
Oh yeah,
he didn't want to.
Well, he didn't want to see it anyways. He hated those damn movies.
They banned him from the premiere.
Yeah.
They did?
They banned George Lucas from the premiere of episode 9.
How they banned the creator? They know it was trash.
Disney actually went like, nah, we don't want you here, bro.
Yeah, they banned
it was more Kathleen Kennedy than anything.
That's rough.
Yeah, because George Lucas, he said his 2 cents about the new movies. He was like, "Yo, they're not good."
No, but dude, they said that we're not gonna waste your time. This is trash, though. We're not gonna waste your potential is not in this movie.
I mean, he rich though.
But you know what? I heard like YouTube fans, Star Wars YouTube fans, they said like, bro, the Mandalorian show is way better than the last 3 movies that came out.
That's a given.
Yeah, you know why? Because there's a coherent story.
Yeah.
Right.
You're following
character development.
Yeah, you're following a character whose changes from beginning to end.
And did you guys have the chance to see the Clone Wars last season?
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes, with Ahsoka Tano and Rex. Yeah.
I have. Ruben has.
Like without any spoilers, right? Essentially, Dave Filoni, what he did was like he combined the original trilogy with the Clone Wars filler, right? Yeah. Because it's just like that's time space with the Mandalorian. So essentially, like all of it are now seamlessly
intertwined.
That's sick.
That is why Ahsoka is being implemented in Mandalorian.
Yeah, that's what's gonna come out in Mandalorian.
Makes sense now.
Yeah.
You mean to tell me that these guys are actually thinking ahead? Wow.
Yeah.
That's why
and that's the thing. Like George Lucas has all of this kind of mapped out already, but they just don't listen.
Yeah.
Right. And since Dave Filoni hears George Lucas and asked for his permission on certain story arcs, that's why it turns out well.
Because he cares.
Yeah, he cares. There's actually how like that in Disney Plus after The Mandalorian or after Clone Wars, I don't know. There's a special that's like the filming of. There's a table discussion between all the directors of The Mandalorian and Dave Filoni, and Dave Filoni explains them like what Star Wars really is, like from the first 3 movies. And dude, it is awesome. Like there are things that the movies have been around since forever, right? And then like this guy's like, yeah, this is what George Lucas intended. Like this in reality, Star Wars is about this. And then you're like, whoa, dude, that's freaking crazy. Right. And then you can tell that Disney doesn't have that level of deep thought when it comes to this franchise.
No, they just want to milk it.
No, they want to milk it, and they want that quick money.
Right.
Yeah, that's why they were doing Star Wars every year. Like it's insane.
Right.
You know what I wanna see Mandalorian is Rex, Captain Rex. But I'm pretty sure they're not gonna put him because
is he dead?
No, he's not. Wait, spoiler alert, right? So,
what?
Well, we know that he's not dead because like he comes out in Rebels, right?
Right.
Okay.
He comes out in Rebels and he's
just retired.
Yeah,
retired.
He lives in He lives in I think it's like in a ATST in the sand with other people.
With two.
Yeah, so it is possible that we see him in the Mandalorian, absolutely, and that would be cool.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, but I don't think we're gonna see it this season because Boba Fett's coming out.
Right.
Of course.
Right.
Yep. And you know that Boba Fett is like the Mandalorian.
Of course.
Yeah.
Well, he's not an actual Mandalorian.
Yeah, he's not.
But he's the only one that matters.
He's the only one that matters.
The only one.
That one, Baby Yoda.
Oh, Boba and Jango. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to a better movie or a better series.
Sonic. Okay, let's
Sonic
do it. Sonic 2.
That's old news, bro. What you talking about?
Well,
have you guys seen it? Do you guys saw it?
They confirmed Sonic 2.
I mean that was confirmed already. Once you saw the movie.
Well, there was
Sonic Back to the Hood.
Sonic
Back to the
Hood. Oh, snap.
Hopefully they base it around that one crappy game where Sonic turns into a werewolf.
Oh God.
Okay.
Well,
I read Sonic Rush.
That game actually wasn't bad.
The whole casual audience do that.
The game wasn't actually bad. The werewolf parts were bad. Yeah.
I'm like, why does Sonic need a sword? Why does Sonic need to turn into a werewolf? Like, why?
Sega didn't know what to do with
how else is he gonna get the princess?
That's true.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But by the way, like, so we were looking at, my wife and I took a look at Ace Ventura, the first one.
Right.
Ace Ventura: Pet Detective. And after watching it, we concluded that while the movie still holds up and it gives you a little bit of jokes, dude, Jim Carrey did a good thing at staying low for a few decades.
Oh, hell yeah.
Before coming back, because some of those themes and some of those jokes are rough, like really rough, and they just wouldn't fly in this day and age.
Oh, no, of course not. Of course not.
There's a lot of jokes. I mean, a lot of movies that you see now, like even comedians, like the jokes that they used to do and jokes you wouldn't be able to do them now. Like,
yeah, I remember a couple months ago, I was showing Josh the trailer for Master of Disguise.
Oh my God!
With Dana Carvey, he has like full blackface on, accent, and he's like doing the snake charmer thing, and like it's like I was like, yo, if anyone actually watched that movie, he would be like getting a lot of shit right now.
Yeah, like honestly, it's good for them to lay low for a bit.
Right?
Speaking of not being able to do stuff in this era, there are people mad now about Tropic Thunder, a movie that's 10 years old.
Oh yeah, it was trending on Twitter.
They only got reignited because of that podcast with Joe Rogan and Robert Downey Jr.
Right.
And like, who cares? It's 10 years old, fam.
And like and I remember when the movie actually came out, everybody praised Robert Downey Jr.
Right.
They were like, "Oh, yo, you did this amazing." I think he did an amazing job. And it's funny because in that movie, he played an Australian who played a black man.
Yeah,
he didn't do it.
Yeah, it was satire about blackface.
Yeah, right. And you know what? I watched that movie, and that movie's still good. I like that movie still.
Yeah, that was
it's funny as hell.
Yeah, essentially everyone was saying that he did a great job, and people would just go overreacting to bullshit because they, during that time we still were not in the COVID-19 era or the COVID-19 phase, and people would need just something to bitch about. And obviously Robert Downey Jr. had that interview with Joe Rogan, and automatically that same day the video just released on YouTube. Everyone started talking about it. It's like, oh, Robert Downey Jr. is a racist. He play like.
Well, they dissected that video, and so like it made it seem as if it was placed out of context. And he's like, "Oh, well, playing blackface," and then people were like, "Wait, what?" But if you actually listen to the whole video, he was explaining like, you know, I didn't even want to do it at first, but like
his friends were like, "Yo, you gotta do it."
Yeah, no, but then he's like, "Oh, I didn't do it. Who else was gonna do it?" And they probably would have done a really bad job with it.
True.
So I decided to do it.
Not only that, but like they explained to him what the role was about. Like that was the thing. It's just like at first glance, you think, "Oh, it's just Robert Downey Jr. in blackface," but that's not what it was. It was him making fun of the idea of blackface by wearing blackface. So he plays. So in the movie, he's not a guy. He's not playing a black guy. He's playing a white guy who's playing a black guy.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. There was another one, like for example, Superbad. You know that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, Superbad. You know, and I listened to an interview on NPR on Fresh Air where Seth Rogen was actually the guest, right? Was it Seth Rogen?
No.
Who was it?
Who was that other dude? That one.
Yeah, Jonah Hill.
Rogan.
Sorry, you're right.
Jonah Hill.
So Jonah Hill was the guest, and dude, Terry Gross, the host, was trying to really trying to tell him like, oh, you are insensitive, like you are like she was really rude in that sense, right? And the guy kept saying like, yeah, you know, when we did it back then, it was completely different. Like right now, I realized that what I did, you know, and the jokes that were written, right, are insensitive, but that is the victim of the time. Like you can't judge me now for that movie, which I was just doing my work, right? But now even
if it came out now, like so what? You know what I mean? People are so.
It's those internet social justice people that are
people
like,
who don't even watch the content.
Feelings. Oh my god!
It's people who don't even watch the content.
It's people who care about the movie like 10 years after release.
It's like the whole cyberpunk thing, man.
Oh, about that gender
stuff. Yeah,
Jesus.
yo, man. CD Projekt Red don't give a fuck. I need to be like them. Oh my gosh.
No, it's because the thing is, when it came to cyberpunk, they didn't do their research, and so they didn't realize it was made by a black guy. Like that game in general was made by a black guy, and the guy is still working on the game. And so they were offended that the black gang was called with the monkeys or something like that.
Oh, the animals.
The animals, yeah. And they were really offended by like, oh, why is it called that way? And he was just like, that's just how it is.
Get this. Those who were offended weren't even black.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, they were telling him that he wasn't angry enough. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, hello? It's fucking crazy. But
great
but
game.
see, like,
who gained Cyberpunk?
This whole thing started because like when I saw Jim Carrey in the Sonic movie, I was just like, oh, like I know his shtick, right? He does a good job with his shtick, and he's still funny. He managed to adapt into today's like media, like and to today's climate, I would say, because I enjoyed his performance a lot in Sonic.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was classic.
That's why we went to watch it.
Yeah, no, I don't think. See, that's the thing. I don't think he adapted. I think it's like there's just no one to replace Joe Carey.
Yeah.
There's really no one else. Like, who could do a role like that? Like, who else could play a wacky character in that way? Like,
I mean, there's a few. Like, like Steve Carell and.
Oh no, Steve Carell has demonstrated that his forte.
Technical difficulties. God damn it, Ray! Stop buying your computers from Walmart. Ray, stop buying your computers from Walmart.
Yeah. Let's talk about the Golden Girls while we have this.
No, but because I think about it, right? Like, look at The Mask, right? One of Jim Carrey's best movies. Is like, who else could play The Mask in that way? Like, to play a wacky character like that it's so hard.
That was the product of its time, right? And you can make the argument for like Austin Powers. Who can play Austin Powers like that? Like Seth Meyers.
Yeah.
Seth. What's his name? Michael Myers.
Yeah, Mike Myers.
Mike.
Yeah, at night he puts the mask on and becomes a horror movie star.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
I actually the mask too.
That was a product of the time. Like, he was able to pull that off, and he pulled that off with a shitload of other movies.
No, but I'm saying like that. You're right, but I think like that's the thing, right? Because it's like since that time, no one's really been able to replace him. Like there hasn't really been like an equal actor capable of doing those kind of things. So when Jim Carrey comes back, you're like, oh man, like I missed this. I haven't seen this in years. Yeah.
Because like I've seen enough movies with like Steve Carell to know like he's kind of one note in even when he's trying to do serious stuff, it's just boring. And you can see it in his new series, the Space Force. Not really anything original, unfortunately. Even though like it's promising, but you know, like I don't.
I feel like Steve Carell's best work is 40-Year-Old Virgin.
And The Office.
And The Office.
I mean, like,
The Office is amazing.
I don't like The Office. I don't find that shit funny at all.
Well, the thing is that cringe comedies,
it's cringe. Yes, comedy.
Right, it's very difficult to like.
Like I watch. I'm just like, okay. I didn't really like it that much. 40-Year-Old Virgin, that was pretty funny.
Yeah, but yeah,
it's that and Anchorman. Also, his role in Anchorman.
I don't like it. So.
Another one that has like its own kind of, you know, Zach Galifianakis. He has his own style, you know, and it's like it's funny, right? But again, it's like it's very him. I don't think anybody else can do what Zach Galifianakis does because he's so contained and he's just idiotic. And then Will Ferrell, that's another one too, right? Will Ferrell's wacky as hell.
Yeah, right. He has a distinctive taste.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like when you take a look at Jim Carrey, it's like, oh, this guy is like a human cartoon, like versus like everybody else, versus like any other comedian out there.
I never thought of it that way. Yeah. He is.
All right, so now movies that we're looking forward to see but got canceled.
Black Widow.
Not canceled. Pushed back.
Black Widow.
Black Widow.
Wait.
I was actually just wanted to see Mulan.
Yeah, that too.
No.
Yeah, I wanted to see Mulan. I really did. Like, I want to see Black Widow too, of course. But I actually wanted to see how that movie would turn out with no Eddie Murphy being completely serious instead of like a typical Disney movie. I actually wanted to see how that movie was going to turn out. But there's rumor that they might not even play it in theaters at all. So you may never see it.
They probably might play it till next year. They did that with that Jungle movie.
No, but some of the executives came out and said they're thinking about just killing a theatrical release.
Damn.
I doubt it because they want to hit that Chinese market.
They do, but now with the schedule the way it is, like I think they had to push it back so far. They're probably just like screw it.
No,
I don't know about that.
Who wants to see Mulan anyway?
You know what? Disney's not afraid to delay it by a year. So they've done it. They did already. I think 2 movies got delayed by a year already.
Yeah.
I mean, Disney went ahead and released Into the Wild directly in the Call of the Wild directly into video or like their streaming services, and nobody cared about that movie.
Yeah.
You know, and the last one they had was Onward, which was the last theatrical release they had, and did all right.
So it was an okay movie. This is not one of Pixar's best.
No,
just like The Good Dinosaur.
Yeah, it's better than A Dinosaur. Fuck that movie.
It was an okay movie to watch when you were bored.
Movie, you know.
Yeah.
Where you watch it 7 times, you have nothing to do in your life, you know.
You know, I feel like at this point, when it comes to Black Widow, somebody's is gonna end up leaking it because it's been ready for way too long.
Yeah. Right. Dang, that's gonna suck because I'm gonna be on Flickster.
I mean, you go to like if you go to the toy aisles, right? There's gonna be all the merch for the movies out.
Yeah,
right. All the Marvel Legends, all the toys are out. Like you have big companies like Mayfex and Medicom releasing their versions of the toys, and they have like unmasked versions of everything. So all the seekers are kind of just like, getting out there.
Just stay away from Twitter.
But surely.
Right, that's what I'm wondering because it's like, are they gonna choose, Mulan over MCU movies? Like, you get what I'm saying? Because like next year, the Phase 4 starts like in full effect, right?
supposedly.
Yes.
Yeah. Right. And so it's like,
I mean, it will start with Disney Plus first.
Technically, Black Widow starts Phase 4.
Yeah,
I thought that was in the Phase 3.
And the
Phase 3 was Spider-Man.
Okay.
Would it though? Now with the delay, because
I mean, it's still
Disney...
Phase 4, but they delayed. Right. They pushed every movie and show forward.
Okay.
Well, Wanda and Vision
that got delayed.
Slated. It got delayed.
Yeah. All their Disney Plus got delayed.
Yeah, but
delayed. It only got delayed for like 2 weeks, though. It's not that.
The problem is that delaying them. It's when it comes to the shows, is because they really don't have time to film them, right? They don't have access to lots. They don't have, because Disney doesn't have lots. So like they don't have access to any way of shape or form to actually get there and start production. But a lot of the secrets, especially from like WandaVision, they've kind of already been leaked out. Like everybody knows what's about.
Yeah, we already know what's gonna be. It's just gonna be it's kind of gonna be like a sitcom almost. But if that's gonna introduce the Scarlet Witch, and then go on to Doctor Strange and then introduce the multiverse.
Yeah, it's gonna bring in her kids, like Wiccan, and I don't know the name of the other one, and then from that point you're gonna have X-Men. That's the whole point.
I think WandaVision is supposed to be the introduction to mutants and shit like that.
Right.
Yeah. I think they're gonna do a reversal from the comic book, because in the comic book she eliminates
House of M.
Yeah. And she says no more mutants. I think in this case she's gonna flip it
and be mutants.
You
know how broke you gotta be to be like, yeah, no more. Oh yeah, there's gonna be something. It's just
just flat.
That's actually. Go ahead.
Oh no! Supposedly, and that triggers Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That will actually be sick if they did. Oh yeah, mutants flip them all.
Right.
But the thing is, like, she's a mutant, of course, but like in the universe, they don't consider them mutants yet. They're not really considered mutants. So
what they call them?
Enhanced.
Enhanced.
Yeah. So like, would she be like, "Oh, I'm a mutant. Where is everybody else?"
Right.
Unless because she is traveling between dimensions and stuff like that, maybe she'd be like, "Oh shit."
You mean the multi-dimension?
Right, because like Doctor Strange is doing his little multi-dimension thing, it's possible he can like merging a few.
Yeah.
Right, like, and they end up just like, oh, whoops! I accidentally bought these guys, and look, it's the X-Men.
That would explain why they weren't there.
Right.
Because in the current universe, there is no X gene. Right. So like that mutation hasn't happened. Right.
Exactly.
So like there is no Charles Xavier. There is no Eric Magnus.
Because
so,
if they were, where the hell were they in Infinity War?
Right, exactly.
And you know what? Another thing that they can do is like when it comes to the Fantastic Four, right? They could, and I think they've been talking about this. You know how people travel through the what's the name of that? The quantum realm, right?
Right.
They're saying that it's possible that Reed Richards in his own universe figure out the quantum realm and travel through, but during that travel, they got exposed to the radiation that turned them into Fantastic Four, just like Janet Van Dyne's mom, right? Like,
right,
and it has powers now. Right?
That'd be one way to do it, instead of repeating it twice and fail.
And you can, and Reed Richards is a genius, right? So essentially, he can figure it out.
Yeah,
right.
That'd be sick. That would be sick. I never thought about that actually. About that.
So where do you think the next phases are gonna go? Like, what story do you think they're gonna be doing?
Secret Wars.
But do you think they're gonna do actual Secret Wars?
No, of course not.
Yeah,
it's going down that path. You already see it with Nick Fury with the Skrulls in space. Like it's going down that path.
Because honestly, like I know I talk a lot of trash about Captain Marvel because I do not like that movie, but like the movie's forgettable. Like that like the like when you look back at it and you're like, oh yeah, that Skrulls have that. Unfortunately, Skrulls have that effect. Like they're always there, but nobody cares about them.
The thing about Captain Marvel is that movie came out too late within like the universe. It's an origin story that's an origin. The way they told origin stories 10 years ago is how they told that movie, and it kind of doesn't fit anymore.
Right. Do you think they're gonna do Galactus versus the Marvel live action?
It has to do.
I wish, man.
I'll pay.
That'd be so freaking sick.
All right.
They have to do Galactus. Like, there's no other way. Because I think then
versus Dormammu though.
No, not Dormammu just yet. Dormammu's still trapped. But the point is that what I want is that the next Guardian of the Galaxy, they have to take out Galactus somehow, because that would be why not?
Because I mean, in the comic book, Galactus is a necessity. Like the Living Tribunal stops you from killing him.
Well, yeah.
No.
Well, I mean, I think just as a deterrent, as Fantastic.
Oh, like just like I was like, just
from Galactus overtaking the Earth.
Okay, like push him away. Okay,
because that's you have to think about. You have to think about possible big bads, right? Like
I think in Guardians 3 isn't it going to be that gold dude? What's his name?
Oh, Adam Warlock.
Yeah, Adam Warlock. Yeah,
it's possible.
Possible.
Because they did tease it in Guardians 2.
Look, right. I think right now, Marvel has a lot of like just loose ends, and because that's their style, right? They leave loose ends so that they can pick up any thread they want, so they can direct the universe that way. Right. Guardians of the Galaxy has Adam Warlock, has all the Celestials, which are coming for sure.
Yeah.
Right, and it has the Eternals too. And anything else that I'm missing? Yeah, I think that's it. Those are the two threats they have, and Galactus falls upon on that category too.
Oh,
they do got Apocalypse.
Also what?
Apocalypse.
Wrong universe, bro.
Wrong universe.
Yeah, what you talking about? Wrong universe. Apocalypse is
but
Apocalypse is DC.
It's DC.
What?
I'm talking about what? Are you guys high?
Apocalypse is X-Men. Yeah, the hell? Darkseid is
no, but I thought you said Apocalypse.
No, Apocalypse, the planet.
Even Apocalypse, the mutant.
Yeah.
Well, no, and then I think they're trying to implement Sword. I don't know if you guys know what Sword is, but basically it's Shield and space.
It's Galactic Kids Next Door.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, okay.
And it's actually and the director is a mutant too, the chick.
Yeah, he's clearly a Pokemon.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, this is completely like random because it's back to Justice League. You know, Martian Manhunter is supposed to be in that movie.
Yeah, it's supposed to be the one of the like military guys, right?
Yeah, the military guy from Man of Steel.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But it's not there.
I was like, what? Oh, I could see that.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be him in disguise.
Hopefully they put him.
Cool.
Yeah, that was. I just wanted to throw that in there because I forgot to mention it earlier.
Yeah, that's cool.
Oh yeah. Are they gonna show it in the new Justice?
Maybe.
Maybe.
No, I mean, look. They probably will because they need some new actors, right, to fill in the gaps. So they might not bring back, Affleck. Well, actually, based on what Andres said, he might be coming back, but they may not bring all of them back. So they're just gonna add new,
right?
Which could be a thing.
But they did have that Ezra Miller cameo in the Flash TV show.
Yeah, that was sick.
Yeah.
Even if it was a cameo, I'm like, yay, it's connected.
So he's down to keep playing Flash, though.
Yeah. Even after he smacked that girl, allegedly. Allegedly, allegedly.
Rest in peace, Amber Heard, too.
Yo, rest in peace of her whole career, bro. Yo, she's getting straight blacklisted from Hollywood.
Right.
Over for her. She's not getting work, and she gotta go to Bollywood to get work.
They have the best CGI.
Bollywood, she's considered God tier.
Yep. So her career is over for lying and being a.
So now, what do you guys think? What do you guys think? Away from the Marvel universe, right? Like into the alternatives. RoboCop 2. That's happening.
Yeah. Wait. RoboCop 2 from like the reboot?
Yeah. It's going to be it's gonna pick up after the first movie, the original first movie from the 80s.
Oh, really?
But they already made a RoboCop.
Right, they already did a RoboCop 2 from the
That's
first
why.
movie.
That's why RoboCop is in Mortal Kombat, because it's a promotional thing. Right?
So they're pulling
that makes sense.
So they're saying the new movie of RoboCop it doesn't exist no more. It's like
so like they retcon the original RoboCop 2 and RoboCop 3 and the reboot.
The reboot was so trash that I saw 15 minutes of that and I cut it off.
I have not been able. I've never watched it.
It's painful to watch that.
It's really
watch it, bro. It's sad.
It's so painful.
It hurts me.
Just watch clips on YouTube. You'll be like, okay, I get it.
I'll watch the Everything Wrong With. Yeah, because like they're bringing that back.
You know what Mortal Kombat did that I like? In Mortal Kombat X, they did Alien vs Predator, and then 11 is RoboCop vs Terminator. That's sick.
Right, that was the theme. Yeah,
which is actually a comic book back from back then.
Oh, really?
Right.
Yeah,
it is.
RoboCop versus Terminator.
Do you think that's an actual movie?
The Terminator comic books are pretty sick too. By the way, you guys read them.
Yeah.
Right. Do you think they're gonna actually make a movie if they ever do that, like a cross between Terminator and RoboCop?
I hope not, because
Terminator's gonna ruin it.
The Terminators are busted, dude. Like Skynet, I don't know how I got these powers, but Skynet makes so crazy ass.
You can't win against Terminator. Like,
but did you know that they actually did a death battle between RoboCop and Terminator, and RoboCop won the fight?
Well, which Terminator? T-800? Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Yeah, the T-800.
That makes more sense. But the T-9, what is it?
That would be the
T-3000, the T-1000, the T-Infinity? No way.
No. But yeah, he won
the one that could turn to liquid and shit?
Yeah.
Right. That's not happening. He ain't reading that one.
This is true.
Okay, how do you guys feel about Venom? Let There Be Carnage, right?
They're supposed to be a Carnage. They let it at the end of the.
I'm so reluctant and like bewildered with that movie, because I want to say it's gonna do good because of Woody Harrelson, but that hair on him.
Yeah, I was about to say that wig.
They removed their hair. Like it's stupid. Like it looks so fake.
Yeah, I understand Cassie's red hair, but you don't have.
At least make the hair look nice.
Yeah, who would have been? Yeah, who would have been perfect for that role was the dude who played Rorschach.
Yes, I was thinking about that.
Yeah. He was the perfect.
But he's too old now. I mean, the actor itself is
really old.
No, I mean, you look at the comic rendition. The dude looks like skinny, like old.
That seems pretty old.
Doesn't really matter. Yeah. But like, he looks like Annie. Fucking Woody Harrelson with that wig.
Yeah, like honestly, that extra hair, like Woody Harrelson is a good actor, but then like that hair, like just weird, man.
It looks weird. It looks bad.
I'm getting vibes of like of that first Hulk.
Oh, right.
Oh, dude,
getting vibes like that.
Wait, are we talking about 2000s or the
2003 Hulk?
The first one.
That was a missile.
The one where you have Hulk punching like CGI balls from dogs.
I know, right?
Oh, man. That was terrible.
If he takes up the whole tunnel.
What I'm curious though is how they're gonna cross, Spider-Man over too.
Well, supposedly Tom Holland's supposed to make a cameo.
No, he's gonna make a cameo, but they do plan on crossing them both over to fight Carnage in the third movie.
Right.
He didn't give Venom the spider powers yet. It didn't look like, unless I'm mistaken.
They haven't given it. They haven't.
No, they haven't.
So they have like that, just like say, okay.
And apparently they want to do it into the Spider-Verse live action. So that and they want to bring Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield to play them too. I'm like, please.
That would actually be.
Oh, it did. Oh, that's whack.
Yeah, like the first Into the Spider-Verse was actually supposed to be between Tom Holland, Andrew Garfield, and Tobey Maguire. Right? The executive at Sony said no, so they made an animated one.
Wow.
I mean, the animated one is really good though, but
dude, I feel that the animation when it comes to like superhero movies, it's underappreciated because if they were to do, I mean, I watched the entire cutscene, the clippings of cutscenes from the Mortal Kombat, the storyline.
Yeah,
and that thing is entertaining as hell, man.
Hell yeah!
You look at it and you're like, dude, this is a movie. Like I can pop some popcorn right now and just sit here and watch. It's fun. Like, and I was like, dude, if they took Arkham Asylum, Arkham City's Batman, and those types of like designs and they made a full length movie about it, that would be dope.
But it's DC, man. It's not gonna do it.
Yeah,
they hired Twilight, so it's all good.
They lack common sense. I know.
Yeah.
They hired Patterson to do Batman, who doesn't want to work out for Batman because he says he doesn't need to. So
he doesn't want to spread harmful stereotypes.
Like Batman's buff. Shut up and do it. Like, come on, bro.
I mean, look at Christian Bale. I mean, that guy committed.
Yeah. That man will get skinny. Yeah, he got jerks.
Oh shit! Look, it's Chucky. No, I was kidding.
Oh, shit. I want to see if Carnage they made all the things that he does, killing everybody, shut the blood.
Yeah, all that's what I want to see.
Right? That's the question.
Show that.
I need to see Carnage actually stick his hand through someone, and you see blood just drip out of it. But you're not. It's like
you need to see the axe. You need to see
the
axe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Carnage is not sweet. He's a serial killer. So
yeah, he's
that. Yeah. But if they don't show that, then I'll be so disappointed.
There's a video on YouTube where they ask Todd McFarlane, right, who essentially co-created Venom, right, to take the Venom from the movie and kind of like ask him like, hey, how would you redesign it, right? And it's pretty cool because he actually like takes a screenshot and it starts drawing on it. It's like, oh yeah, they made his eyes a little bit too small. Like I would go bigger than that. Like, and look at his teeth. That mouth is really small. I would go bigger than that. So like, it's
exaggeration.
It's because Venom is supposed to be exaggerated, right? Like it's supposed to be just like open up and everything, but they were really
exaggerated Spider-Man.
Yeah, they were really tame on this one, and I really hope that they just unleash when it comes to like Carnage.
You know what thing? I think Venom 2 is supposed to be some sort of soft reboot. Well, because because the whole deal with Marvel to have Spider-Man in their universe now and all that stuff. So you might actually see, a better version of Venom. We'll see.
Right.
I'm kind of surprised they still haven't released the trailer, seeing how it's supposed to come out this year.
They're playing.
So far, I haven't seen Carnage at all. The actual Carnage.
Well,
if you look at the comic,
to like near the release,
I've seen comic books how crazy he is and what things he does, but I haven't seen nothing from
the symbiote story. It's pretty out there now. Like
No,
but when I'm saying
especially with like Null the God. It's crazy.
They went kind of jank with it. Yeah, they kind of went jank with it though.
No, I just want to know what Disney do with Carnage. I just want to see that.
Remember that time where Venom was pregnant?
What?
Yes.
Yeah, that's so weird.
See Eddie Brock like, damn, you need some hormones, bro.
All right.
Is this the predator now? The alien, the xenoform when you get babies pregnant, everything. Nah, bro.
The face eaters? No.
Face eaters when you.
I don't know. Like the movie schedule, it's weird. Like I kind of. I think the last movie I went to see was Harley Quinn, and I went with this guy's. That was crazy.
Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey. You mean just Harley Quinn?
Harley Quinn, basically.
Oh, the emancipation of Harley Quinn.
It was the Birds of Prey, the miraculous emancipation of Harley Quinn. Yeah.
I love how in that movie the Huntress was like
non-existent.
This much.
Yeah, they actually made Huntress. I mean, their story is accurate. When it comes to like that character, the story is accurate. They just made her boring.
Yeah.
Which is kind of sad.
It was sad.
It's just like it had the suicide effect. It's just like
yeah.
No one cares.
All right, so we have also run out of time again for this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Anything last you guys want to say about this?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to Jurassic
I'm
Park.
trying to go eat, so
make sure to go watch Birds of Prey. We gave it an 8. No, I'm cheating. I'm just kidding.
Birds of Prey gets a 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. Actually, I give it 100.
10 out of 10.
100 out of 10.
New power she's Filipino.
Yeah. All right.
All right. We catch you later.
I'll see you guys.
Peace, you guys.
All right. See you guys.
See ya.
All right. Peace.